Alright, welcome. So, we're going to be doing an unboxing today. This is just an unboxing video, but it's going to be kind of a precursor to a future video. So, this is the Thermaltake Core V1 PC case. I ended up getting this thing brand new. I think I paid well, I didn't pay anything. I traded a lot of old stuff that I didn't need for it, but the price was $75. So that's what it was worth, but I got it for basically nothing, just trading up stuff that I was going to get rid of anyway. So we're going to be doing an unboxing of it and kind of show you what it's all about. Now, this is kind of a disclosure for a future project I'm going to be working on, but I have never actually built a mini ITX computer before. I've been building computers for about 10 years, about a decade now. I feel old. But yeah, about 10 years now, and I've never built in a mini ITX configuration. So this is my first mini ITX case. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is going to be kind of the foundation for which we build our first mini ITX computer. So that's going to be pretty neat. So just getting it open here, getting it out of the box. Come on. There we go. Okay. Alright. So we got our styrofoam here. Okay. So let's get the plastic off and we can take a look at this thing. Okay. This is brand new, by the way. I got this at a recycler, and it's brand new in box. So it's not pre-owned or anything, it's 100% new. So this is, if I'm holding it, this is about how big it is. It's pretty manageable. Hold on, let me see if I have my tape measure. Alright, I got my tape measure. So let's do a little test here to see how big it is. So across the top, we have 26 centimeters. So that's about 10¼ inches. So less than a foot. On the top, same thing here. How tall is it? Let's see here. We got about the same. It's the same. It is 10¼ about 26 centimeters. And then how long is it? It curves down, but it's about a foot. So it's about a foot this way. So that's, okay, that's interesting. So yeah, it's not quite a cube, but if you cut about an inch, if you were to pop off this front panel right here, it'd be about a perfect cube. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, this is what's going to be housing our mini ITX computer. So that's pretty cool. So up at the front we have a mesh front panel, which I believe we can we pop this off somehow? Not maybe. Hold on. Let's see. Yep, you can. I think that that just uses some push pins to clip in there, and then it comes off, and then we have a huge fan. This fan is a not quite 20 centimeters, about 19½ centimeters. So I would say it's about a 200 millimeter fan. I don't know what it would be up until then. Is there like 192 or something like that? But it's between 190 and 200 millimeters for this fan. It's huge. It's very large. But that's going to be your one really big intake on the side here. This is very typical for like kind of budget Thermaltake cases. I've seen this before many times. Also in some Cooler Master cases, this kind of side panel right here, this side control unit here. So you have your reset, power, and then you have two USB 3.0 ports, which is pretty nice. And then that all goes into a PCB, which will then loop into the main chassis. So that's pretty cool. We'll put this front panel back on here. Actually, no, we'll just save that for later. That's fine. So now, what's interesting about this case is how kind of versatile it is for taking apart. So this is the front. This is the, if you're looking at it from the front, this will be the left side. This is where you'll typically build with a computer. But what's interesting is that all three sides of this thing are going to come apart. So check this out. And this thing, it makes this thing very easy to work with, actually. All right, so see, that side comes off, and you can start to look into this case, which is pretty cool. Now, what you'll notice is that's zip tied in there. Let me see if I can get that undone. What you'll notice is that here's your accessory packet, just kind of sits in there. But what you'll notice is that the power supply goes underneath here, and then up top we have our tray for our motherboard. So what you can see, based on the I/O cutout on the back here, the motherboard lays flat on the case. It just lays down completely flat. Since it's so small, you only have two, I believe these are 80mm fans. It does not come with them, so you're gonna have to put them in yourself, but we have two 80mm fans, but your motherboard lays down, so you don't have to worry about it sagging or anything with your GPU, and that's pretty cool. And then your GPU, you get two slots, so for modern cards, that could be a potential problem. Also, given how small it is, size has to be another consideration. You gotta be careful that you don't have too big of a GPU on there. Although, this is actually kind of considerate. You'll see this little cutout in the front right here. It gives you a little bit extra room because this thing is so bulbous. It gives you a little bit extra room, like maybe another 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch for a longer sized GPU, which is pretty cool. So yeah. So here we have our cables, our cabling for our front panel connectors. We can put those on there. And then on the other side, here we go, we can undo this one too. And same thing, just thumb screws, it comes off. See that? So now you can see I can look right through there, and we have complete access to both sides of the case, which is pretty awesome. And this side is actually pretty cool because it has these mounts for, I believe, these look like hard drive sleds actually. Yeah, it looks like this is for fitting a hard drive in. That looks like what this is for. So that's interesting. But it also has screw holes in here. So you could do actually, it has the holes. If you wanted to do a 2.5 inch SSD, you could do that too. You have to pop these off and you can put a 2.5 inch in there. So yeah, you can do both hard drives and SSDs in there if you want. So that's where your storage is going to be held. Kind of a cool feature. For the computer that I'm going to build, we don't use that kind of storage. We're just going to be using NVMe, but it's still a cool feature. This is an older case. It's when mini ITX was not as common as it is today. So it's not quite as forward thinking, but it's still a nice feature to have nonetheless. And then this is a kind of a cool feature. So this is the only side panel that we have, and you'll notice it's on top. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't really know why, because you typically look into a case from the side. You don't really look at it from the top, so it just is interesting. But it's got the same way, you got two thumb screws, and then it just pops off. So then check this out. We have access from the top to screw in our motherboard. So look how we can access this thing from every single side. It seems very easy to work in. And then this is cool too. Kind of final party trick here. You'll notice on the bottom, 2 more thumb screws, so that's 8 total thumb screws on this thing. And then what that's going to allow us to do is this. Check this out. 8 thumb screws, man. I just popped off the bottom. And then what that allows me to do is to get in here to put in the power supply. So the power supply is going to slot in. We basically have to fasten it to the bottom here. We fasten it, or screw it, I should say, screw it into the frame right here, probably from this side, so that it can rest in here and screw into the frame. And then we just screw this back on. And then of course it has a removable, removable dust filter. Pretty cool. Always nice to have. Pretty cool, pretty cool. For your power supply intake fan. So you can remove that and clean it off pretty easily. That's pretty neat. And then we have some space down here. I believe, let's see. Yeah, so down here, I think I was right. So down here you can tell, kind of hard to see, but with these sleds, you actually can screw in your 2.5-inch SSDs down here, and then you can feed the SATA cables from this bottom chamber up to the top, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. So it's kind of interesting how we've just totally like skeletonized this thing. It's pretty neat. We'll probably be working more with this case once I do the actual computer build. It's coming. I gotta get some more parts, so be patient with me. It's gonna be a process, but eventually we'll be doing it for sure. It'll be a pretty cool gaming box. Definitely excited. But yeah, so that's kind of the case, and that's kind of its hat trick. But I think it's pretty cool that it can have so much utility in such a small package. And then what you can actually kind of see is right here, this hole right here that I'm pointing at is where you can feed all of your power supply cables up into here. So it's very easy to work with. You can basically put your hands on any portion of the case. It's very accessible. I really do like that, not only from a building perspective, but from a maintenance perspective especially. Did I lost a thumb screw. Okay, here it is. All right, but yeah, no, it's really cool. I love the design. A lot of ITX builds go for form over function, and they're really tough to build in because they're trying to get the footprint. That's the purpose of ITX, is to just get the footprint of the computer to be as small as possible. But this one, it's still a decent, portable size. You can still, this will be about as portable as an Xbox One, for example, so it's still very portable. But you're not sacrificing maintenance for if you need to swap stuff out. And you can still fit like a decent sized graphics card in there, so you can't really complain about that. I guess the last thing to go over for this unboxing is the accessory packet. Where did it go? Here it is. All right, so this bag just kind of sat in there, and I pulled it out. All right. So here we have our instruction manual with our documentation. Pretty cool. And then we have a pretty bog standard variety of stuff. I would say that this is actually less than I would expect for this case. This is intended to be a budget case, so it doesn't come with everything, but it comes with some stuff. So we get some black little thin cable zip ties. Pretty standard in a lot of cases. They'll come with zip ties for cable management. And then we have these. I'm trying to think of what these are. So these are, oh, I know what these are. It comes with a bunch of these, they're rubber washers that are supposed to be anti-vibration. I didn't understand what these are for initially, but I understand now looking at them. These are for your 80mm fans once you buy them. They're anti-vibration, so they're little rubber grommets that are supposed to prevent your fans from vibrating too much because you don't want your fans to vibrate. So you screw your fan into these rubber grommets or washers or whatever, and it'll prevent them from vibrating too much, which is nice. You're definitely going to want that. And then lastly, of course, we have our screws, all of the necessary screws that we will need for the case, which is nice. We have our power supply screws, our motherboard screws. The one thing I'm not seeing that we're going to need. The one thing I don't see in this accessory packet are our standoffs. Typically, when you have this configuration, when you have a case like this, you typically have brass standoffs in here for the motherboard tray. This case does not seem to have any brass standoffs, which is weird. I'm wondering if you're not supposed to have them, or if you're supposed to install them separately, but they're not in here. So I'm wondering if I need to put standoffs in here, or you can see the metal in there is actually raised up. Maybe that's supposed to be our standoffs, I'm not sure. I'll have to consult the manual on that. But that's what's included with the accessory pack. And I think that's about it. So it's a pretty simple case, but it's nevertheless, I think it's a pretty cool looking case. I like how it's still trying to be small, but it doesn't compromise on a lot of features that you want in a case, which is first and foremost, being very easy to build in. This case has been around on the market for a long time. I actually saw some YouTube videos of this thing that date back to like 2014, 2015, when I was in freaking high school. So I know that this thing has been around for a while, but still, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I mean, especially with this fan and with, you know, your two 80 mils in the back, if you want to slap some Noctuas in there. Just to check, I think these are 80 millimeters. Double check. Yes, they are. They are 80 millimeters. Yep, I was right. Okay, cool. So, with the dual 80 millimeters in the back, and then your, I think, 200 or 192 or whatever this is in the front, you're not necessarily skimping on your cooling, even with some modern parts. So that's nice. But you know, this cost, well, it didn't cost anything, but it was valued at $75. That's about what you can get them for on Amazon. There are more modern ITX cases that look more modern, of course, but this is what I got, and this was what was affordable to me. I didn't want to drop a bunch of money on a new one, but I was able to trade for this one, which is pretty cool. So I can't wait to build in it. I think it'll be pretty exciting. Again, some of the design choices were interesting to me, like, for example, putting the only side panel on top. I don't really get it. I don't really understand, because like people aren't going to be looking at this thing from the top, right? So it's an interesting design choice to say the least. But maybe it'll make more sense once I actually see it. Maybe the idea is like if you put RGB in here, it'll go up onto the ceiling, and you can like your PC can be like an RGB ceiling light or something like that. I guess maybe that's the idea. I don't know. We'll have to see once we start building it. But that's going to be my unboxing of the Thermaltake Core V1. Let me know what you think. Leave a like. Pretty straightforward video, honestly. But I'm doing my best here. Sorry the uploads have been slow. I've been moving to Florida and I've started my new job, so things have been very hectic. But I'm doing my best. So thanks for watching my unboxing. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next time.